So many games, many with earlier releases and better performance on a PC than the Nintendo Switch. So is the Steam Deck a good buy? I got my Nintendo Switch December of 2022, and let me tell you how much I love that console. It got me back into gaming and taught me what cozy gaming was all about. It reacquainted me with Animal Crossing once again, and I had originally played the GameCube version back in the day, to the point that I got the Isabelle Nintendo Switch Lite version because I have no spending control and I absolutely needed it for my collection. About halfway through last year, I was gifted a Steam Deck because I didn't have a gaming PC or a PC at all. I have been a Mac girly my entire life, and the last time I owned a PC was when I was maybe in middle school, aside from the PC that I have to use for work, but that's just for work purposes. So this video is going to go over the pros and cons of a Steam Deck, mainly the LCD version, since that's the version that I own, with a little bit of information on the OLED as well, to help you determine whether or not a Steam Deck might be the option for you. To start off, let's talk about the cons, because I like to end my videos on a positive note, so we'll end with the pros at the end. To start off, there aren't too many cons on my list. There are only about 3. And the first con that I'm going to talk about are the fans. Fans are a super important part of any console or computer because it's what keeps the device from drastically overheating. My PC alone has 7 fans in it. The issue I find with the LCD is that the fans can get really loud. And I've heard that it's not as bad on the OLED. They aren't triggered unless you're playing a heavy game, and I happened to notice when I was playing Fae Farm. And I got Fae Farm for the Steam Deck because of the fact that it was offered both the regular or the deluxe version, and I wanted to try it out on my Steam Deck. There were definitely times when the fans were blasting on my Steam Deck, and you could hear it because of the gameplay. And this was noticeable both when I was docking it or playing it handheld. And obviously you hear it a little bit more when it's handheld since it's so close to you. As much as I appreciated the fans doing their job, they were very loud, especially if you were in a quiet environment. Steam Deck, regardless, would overheat a bit and would get really hot to the touch, which is why I always had something helping me prop it if I were playing heavy games such as Fae Farm, or preferred to have it docked just to keep myself from having to deal with the fans and the heat. But playing it handheld, I would normally just use some sort of a pillow or a pillow pad, which is what I use for my iPad, and prop it on that just to help myself a little bit with the heat. Now moving on to the next con, which would be the battery life. And the Steam Deck, specifically the LCD, could have a better battery life. On average, the LCD gets anywhere between 2 to 8 hours of battery life, while the OLED gets anywhere from 3 to 12 hours of battery life. This is all game content dependent. If I'm playing a heavy game like Fae Farm, I might get 2 to 3 hours of gameplay, maybe just a little bit more if I were to be playing it handheld. Obviously, if it were docked, you're gonna have the charger connected to it. Compared to if I were to be playing Eastward or Octopia, my current hyperfixation, where I could get a couple more hours out of it instead. This can be super annoying if you're traveling and you want to play on a car ride, a plane ride, a train ride, and the battery itself is not going to give you much life. Basically, you're going to have your charger with you and an outlet ready to go. The third and last con, which I have decided to group together, are the size and weight. Now, the Steam Deck is huge, and I don't have dainty hands, but they're still small. And my fiance's hands are relatively bigger than mine. And when he held it for the first time, he even said that the Steam Deck itself was really big. And just for comparison, this is what the Steam Deck looks like. And as you can tell, it is a lot bigger than the Nintendo Switch. So holding it is kind of big. And again, my hands are not super dainty, but they are smaller than my fiance's. And if he's saying that it's big, then there's some merit to it. Now, the grips or the weight of the control is actually really nice. If you can tell from the side, it just kind of goes like that. So it's really comfortable and you're not getting tired from it. Much like if you were to be holding an Xbox controller where you're putting your hands around it, or even if you were to, on the Nintendo Switch, buy one of those grips just to make it a little more ergonomic whenever you're playing. So I do like that feature about the Steam Deck. Either way, because it's so big, it does add weight to it. So when I do play it handheld, I do have to use my pillow pad. I prop it on there just to help me a bit with the weight of the Steam Deck. And I also put some pillows underneath my elbows just to help a bit with the arms and to keep my wrists from feeling like I'm holding something ridiculously heavy, or else my wrists would absolutely hate me. That's it for the cons. I only had 3, so let's talk about the pros. And the first one on this list is first on this list because it's what drove me into wanting a Steam Deck, and maybe one of the reasons why people might look into it, is PC gaming at a cheaper price. As someone who recently got a PC, technically I built it myself, a Steam Deck filled the void of not being able to play PC games when I didn't have my PC. Although my custom-built PC ran cheaper than asking someone else to build it for me, it still cost a couple $1,000s. And on a social worker's budget, it's not the most cost-efficient or friendly, even with the help of wonderful friends who helped fund it and eventually me saving up some money to get it myself. You can easily spend a couple $1,000s trying to put together the right PC, especially if you need it for any particular reason, such as I use mine for gaming and for streaming purposes. A Steam Deck varies in price and can be your gateway to PC gaming. Now, when I got my Steam Deck, they had the 64, the 256, and 512 gigabyte options. I want to make note that the prices have changed given the fact that the OLED is out. So the LCD still has the 3 options. However, the 64 and 512 gigabyte options are being phased out. So they are heavily discounted right now and only available until they are completely out of stock, meaning they're not going to be making more versions. So if you are thinking of getting a Steam Deck and want to look at the prices, because trust me, it'll be way cheaper than getting yourself a PC computer, definitely check the link located in the description just to compare the prices and see the specs and the memory options with the price that best fits your needs right now. The second pro on my list is PC gaming handheld and docked. I don't know about you, but streaming PC games is one thing. Playing them stuck at my PC is another. And I am the type of person that likes to be able to sit back, relax, either in bed, on the couch, or gaming and cardio, and put my game on the big screen or play it handheld. But being confined to my PC at a desk can be super tiring. Again, the Steam Deck is basically a mini PC, handheld. On Steam, you can check to see which games are Steam Deck verified, not verified, playable, and unknown. With that information, I also want to point out that the Steam Deck also offers all these different buttons, and specifically on the front, you have the triggers, the controls, and you also have the trackpad, which is something that I like to use for a hack that I'm going to teach you about having a mini PC handheld and available to you. With the fact that some games are not Steam Deck verified, that means that if they only have the playable options, you might have to remap the controls to making the game playable. Or you can do the hack of, like, when I got my Steam Deck, I really wanted to play Witchy Life Story, which is now available on the Switch, but at the time it wasn't, and it was iffy on whether or not it could really run on the Steam Deck. Now you could play it on the Steam Deck, but you would have to be heavy dependent on the trackpad and the touchscreen. It does have a touchscreen, but I wanted to be able to play it docked and feel more comfortable with it. So you can dock your Steam Deck, whether it's to the TV or if you want a PC experience, dock it to one of your monitors, connect your mouse and your keyboard, either through a dock that you can get the official Steam Deck dock from Valve, or you can get an off-brand one, and either connect the USBs to the back of the dock or connect it Bluetooth to the Steam Deck and basically run it as a computer. And that way you can still use the functionality of the keyboard keys and the mouse if that's what the game is more heavy reliant on. And that's my hack for making this handheld. And on the subject of mini PCs, you can download different softwares, is what I think the word is. Basically, for people that play Palia, you can only play Palia through a different software, which I can't remember the name of it right now as I'm not the biggest Palia player at the moment, but I do want to get into it. So running it on the Steam Deck, you need to be able to download a certain software in order to run it properly. And I've had friends that were able to do it. So imagine being able to play Palia. That's normally a PC game, but handheld instead, or docked to the screen. Because even though Palia is available for the Nintendo Switch, I've heard nothing other than it being super laggy, and I know when I've played it, it's been super laggy, which is kind of the reason why I stopped playing it in the first place. But now that I have a PC and I know this hack for the Steam Deck, I might try it out myself. And number 4 on my list, since I just went through 1, 2, and 3, is being able to access earlier or PC exclusive games only. Now, a lot of games come out on PC left and right very often, and then you have to wait for it to be released on a different console, such as the Nintendo Switch. And there's nothing more frustrating than waiting for a highly anticipated game to finally be released on your console. The Steam Deck offers you the ability to join in on the hype and play that highly anticipated game. But also take this as a grain of salt, since not all games that are immediately released for PC are verified for your Steam Deck. And although I shared my hack on how to overcome those types of non-Steam Deck verified games to be able to play them on your PC, remember that takes away the beauty of being able to play something handheld. I also want to take this moment to remind you that you don't need to give in to the hype of getting games when they're released, and you can totally wait to buy them at your own pace and time and to enjoy the games that you already own. As somebody that's currently going through her gaming backlog, conscious gaming has been so refreshing. Number 5 on my list is the memory. Games take up a lot of space on consoles, especially AAA games or games that have just so much content to them. I know my MacBook Air and my MacBook Pro have been victims of The Sims taking up basically all of the memory on them. The thing I really like about the Nintendo Switch is that you can add memory cards to them to expand the size of the memory. So if you also want to save certain games on a memory card and not on the actual Nintendo Switch itself, you have that option. Now with the Steam Deck, considering that you've gone through which pricing option is for you, and say you want to go on the more economical side and maybe get the 64 gigabyte one, or maybe the 256 gigabyte one rather than the 512 or even the 1 terabyte one, the Steam Deck gives you the option of being able to put a memory card right there. So if you're on a budget and worried about getting a Steam Deck version with lower memory, don't fret, because you do have the option of putting in a memory card and having more memory on it. Or if you do have the means to be able to get yourself one, you could treat yourself to the 1 terabyte one and still add more memory. The 6th Pro on my list is the screen. There is no doubt that the OLED version is much better than the LCD. There's no competition there. People have talked about it. And when you think about the Nintendo Switch, people also really love the OLED version over the regular one. Now, I have a regular Nintendo Switch. I've got the Switch Lite. I never got myself to buy myself an OLED, mainly because I had to control myself. But if I could, I would buy the Zelda version. The Steam Deck also offers the LCD and the OLED version. I have the LCD because I got the version that was out at the time, but the OLED is also available. So if that's something important to you, check into the OLED specs and see if that's more comfort-wise for you, whether it's just visually or for your eyes. Another thing that I really love is that you're able to change the tone of the screen into warmer colors or cooler colors depending on what you like better for your eyes. So I have my Steam Deck set to change to warmer tones at 9 p.m. forward until about, I think it's 7 a.m. if I decide to do some late night gaming, because I am a contact wearer, mainly a glasses wearer, like 75% of the time. I normally wear my contacts when I'm going out or for videos or depending on what I'm doing, and definitely for working out. I hate working out in glasses. But the thing with my eyes is that my glasses have a muscle relaxer because my eyes are actually misaligned. Not something that you could see at all or notice with my vision, something that you can see with tests Basically what it means is that my eyes have to work just a little bit more on making sure that they can focus straight and see straight. So if I'm looking straight at you, my eyes are working really hard to look straight because they just want to drag down. And so I try to do everything I can to alleviate some of that pressure that's placed on my eyes. And one of the things that I like to do is setting my screen to warm tones. And I love that about the Steam Deck because it does it automatic. 9 p.m. kicks in and my Steam Deck changes to slightly warmer tones and just relaxes my eyes and makes gaming so pleasurable. And last on my list is customization. So the one thing I was really upset about with the Steam Deck, and I didn't make this a con, was the fact that it only comes out in black. Now with the Nintendo Switch, you can get them in different colors, right? You've got the Animal Crossing Switch, which is the one that I have, where the Joy-Cons are this teal mint color and this sky bluish type of color. And then you've got the different versions like the lights that come in pink or yellow or turquoise. They even had a version that was, I think, gray at one point. You've got the Zelda OLED, which is white. So you've got all these different colors that come out with the Switch. Now the Steam Deck only comes in black, and I don't know about you, but I'm a very colorful person. My computer monitors are white. My Nintendo Switch, as I've mentioned, come in different colors. I don't own a single keyboard or mouse in black. They're all in color. I've got desk mats and wrist rests, my microphone is pink, my camera for recording is white, so only having the option of black was really upsetting, but being able to customize it made up for it. So you can get cases for your Steam Deck. The one I have here, I got from Amazon, and makes up for the fact that it's white and it's got purple on the sides. I also have some grips. I've got a little bear and I've got a little bear on this side too. But you can also do skins, and I've seen people that are able to flawlessly put skins on their Steam Decks. Same thing that you can do for the Nintendo Switch. I've seen galaxy skins, I've seen pastel skins, I've seen bright ones, whatever you can think of, you could probably find. And it's really nice because you can give a little bit of color to your Steam Deck. So you can do either or. The only thing is, when buying a skin, make sure that you buy the one that's appropriate for your Steam Deck because the OLED has a slightly larger screen diagonally, so you want to make sure that the skin fits it properly. Those were my pros and cons. Hopefully this video helps you out trying to determine whether or not a Steam Deck is for you. There is the option of the LCD or the OLED, and if this video did help you, run over to the link in the description to make sure you pick out the one that is best for you, especially while supplies last with certain models of the LCD. And as somebody that loves to spend, treat yourself, but also make sure you do it consciously. Thanks again for watching my video. Consider subscribing for more cozy gaming content and giving this little video a like. I also live stream over on Twitch weekly, so if you want to follow me over on Twitch, I'm working my way to affiliate status and want to hang out in a stream, we'd love to have you there. From one bichota to another, stay cozy and see you next time. Adios.